Members of the military are currently in the beginning phases of planning for a military parade, something that Donald Trump called for after experiencing Bastille Day in France. Now, again, this is in its infancy. We don't know too many details about how this parade will happen or how much money it will cost, but recent estimates indicate that we will be spending millions of dollars in taxpayer money to fund this ridiculous parade. Trump wants to showcase some of our artillery and other weapons and military capabilities during this parade. And what we know so far is that one option being considered is to hold the parade in November in conjunction with the 100th anniversary of the ending of World War I on November 11th, 1918. Pentagon officials, though, are pushing for something a little different. They want the parade to be tied to Veterans Day rather than Independence Day or Memorial Day because it would appear to be less tied to Trump. Also, planners will now look not only at dates and locations for the parade, but also whether it is feasible to hold a parade displaying large weaponry, such as tanks, on Pennsylvania Avenue. Again, this is something that Trump has been pushing for, and now it appears that people are taking him seriously and it is likely to happen. But there are people on the right that are not too pleased about this, and I want you to hear from them. Now, there was a funny exchange that happened between Fox News military analyst Colonel Ralph Peters and Fox host Bill Hemmer. Bill Hemmer seems to love the idea of this parade, and he thought that, hey, our military analyst is gonna love it too, right? We're gonna honor our troops. Not so much. Take a look.
Well, what do you think of the idea to go ahead and show off the American might, perhaps even down Pennsylvania Avenue?
Well, the French march well. We fight well. Take your pick. If we really want to honor our troops and support them, pass the defense budget. Give them the tools and the funding they need. You know, I understand the president can be infatuated with the military regalia and trappings. It's very seductive. But we have a different tradition here. When we do have military parades, we do honor the troops. It focuses on the human element, not heavy metal war machines rolling down the streets of American cities. And by the way, Bill, on a very practical level, if you want to stage a huge parade, you are taking troops away from their training. Just throwing away the training schedules is expensive. The money can be better spent elsewhere.
Ooh, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the honesty, and he's right. He's right. This is a waste of taxpayer money. We are, it's also what dictatorial regimes do.
Right. Can I just speak to that? Senator John Kennedy, who, not the original one, currently of Louisiana, said this today on the military parade: confidence is silent, insecurities are loud. He's a Republican. When you are the most powerful nation in all of human history, you do not have to show it off like Russia does, to what you're saying, like North Korea and China, which is exactly right. This is a ridiculous.
Yeah, it's an Eastern Bloc move. It's a move of insecure dictators.
Yeah,
we've seen it in fascist regimes through time.
Yeah.
It's awful, and everybody must know this. Even the Pentagon, which is supposedly, as Anna says, in the primordial ooze of putting it all together, they know that it's a colossal waste. But remember, this is coming from a president who loves to waste taxpayer money. He goes to Mar-a-Lago, that costs a fortune. He goes to New York, that costs a fortune. His wife stays in New York while he's at the White House. That costs another fortune, even just for the weekend.
I like protecting her, though, so.
That's going to cost a bigger fortune for him.
But I mean, who doesn't love a parade? But sorry, this is ludicrous.
Right. So Bill Hemmer did not like the answer that he received from their very own military analyst, and he tried to push back against what was said. Take a look at this wonderful exchange.
If you watch the other members of the media reporting this story, you know what they talk about? Hey, do you know where they have military parades? Moscow and North Korea, suggesting that that's the whole idea. The idea came from the French last year. Let's be honest. Let's be fair about it, Colonel.
Well, of course we're going to be fair about it, but they're right that the people that parade weapons are the North Koreans, are the Russians, and to us, this
is not to parade weapons as if it's some sort of offensive gesture, Colonel. This is red, white, and blue.
Right. Bill, I've served in the military for almost 22 years, enlisted man and officer. And let me tell you, I value our tradition of civilian control of the military being representative of our society, not apart from it.
So I really respect, the colonel's statements there, because he's not going along with what those on the right are saying about it. He's pushing back, and I think it's important to do that. Look, this sounds like a funny story on the surface, but I'm genuinely concerned when you look at everything in context. I mean, especially when you consider Trump's statements regarding Democrats refusing to clap and stand during the State of the Union, and how he said that qualifies as treason. I mean, his rhetoric, the things that he's supportive of, the things that he pushes for, I feel like take the country back significantly and put us in scary territory, like authoritarian regime territory.
That he's attracted to this stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is beyond just a parade, right? This is a military parade. That's different. And I looked all day long for Donald Trump comments on the Puerto Rican Day Parade in New York over the years, which has always caused consternation from people who live on Fifth Avenue, where the Puerto Ricans come and march up and down, and everybody who lives on Fifth Avenue complains about it. So I was looking for some great nugget of how Donald Trump thinks there shouldn't be a parade, and to his fairness, I couldn't find that nugget. But I can't tell you, this is not just a parade. That's my instinct, is that this is to flex, to show off. It is the goose stepping, it is the weapons. It's evocative of the worst. And I'm glad that some real conservatives are finding it that way too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And look, let's be honest about this. Donald Trump is doing this. He wants to throw a party for himself.
That's right.
That's thrown by the military, which he knows he's wrapped himself in to create this patina of patriotism. We know that, real patriotism comes with other stuff, but that's what this is. It's a party thrown by Donald Trump's military for Donald Trump. That's what he wants. But even his military, I believe, doesn't want to do this and is looking for some exit on it. And we'll just have to see.
Who was the drummer in Patina Patriotism?
Patina Patriotism was my high school band.
All right, that's what I thought.
Yeah. All right, well, even Brian Kilmeade is against this parade. He thinks it's a waste of money. So again, there are other conservatives that are speaking out against it. And by the way, it's gonna cost millions of dollars. And it's interesting to see those on the right supportive of something like this, a parade to show off military weaponry, when they are so against funding entitlements programs because, who cares about American citizens and taking care of our own?
Or even funding programs for the military vets,
right,
who have record suicide rates, right? Who have record opiate problems. This is a group of people who could use that money. I mean, and they could use it not in the form of a parade. They could use it in the form of treating some of those issues.
That's what the colonel said. He was like, fund the military, fund this budget.
If you like this video, bless your heart. We got a lot more where that came from. We do a full show every day, Monday through Friday. Come enjoy it ad-free by becoming a member. TYTnetwork.com/join.